Hi everyone, this is Mr. Neil Reiter, also known as the Wax Whisperer. Thank you for tuning into my latest video. For anyone who doesn't know who I am, I'm a UK-based consultant audiologist and clinical ear care specialist. I'm also the director and co-founder of ClearWax, and ClearWax are the developers and manufacturers of the wireless eye clearscope, which is what we're using to perform and visualize the procedure. We also train ear professionals around the world in endoscopic ear care, and if you're based in the UK and you're suffering from a blocked ear, please do visit our website www.clearwax.co.uk, where you can find your nearest ClearWax specialist. So we have a client who attended with bilateral occluding. So occluding means fully blocked, sticky earwax. You can see it's quite glutinous. An interesting fact about earwax is if you have wet sticky wax like this, there's a particular gene that causes this type of wax. So if you look at the gene code for the DNA code for dry and wet wax, there's one particular gene that differentiates the two. Wet glutinous earwax is more prevalent in people who have ancestry or originate from Africa or from Europe, and the thinking behind that is, and that's because wet earwax contains a lot more ceremunous glands. So ceremunous glands are the sweat glands, they're the same type of sweat glands that are found under the armpit. And sweat is obviously used to cool the body temperature, so it's very useful in hot climates. So it's believed that if you've got wet earwax, you have ancestry roots where your ancestors come from very hot climates where they needed this ceremunous gland to keep them cool with all the sweat that they perspire. When I was having a look, they were saying European countries, so I'm ruling out the UK because UK is not very warm. I assume when they're talking about migration routes and ancestry routes, we're talking more about the Mediterranean, where it's a lot more hotter, so places like Greece, Spain, Italy, South Italy, Sicily, etc. So that's just an interesting fact, guys. If you've got wet earwax, it's a particular gene that causes that differential consistency between dry earwax, and it's very likely that your ancestral roots are from a hot climate. So just finished with the left ear, so it's just using suction really, very sticky wax, very glutinous as I said, there's a bit left at the base of the ear canal. This earwax is more situated laterally, so near the entrance and the mid canal. It wasn't deep, compressed or medial against the eardrum. So just mopping up around the edge. You can see the patient's got quite a few cilia, so the cilia are the hair follicles, they're found on the outer third of the ear canal, and actually it's the outer third of the ear canal that secretes the wax. So you have those ceremunous glands, they're the modified sweat glands that I made reference to earlier. You also have sebaceous glands, so sebaceous glands are the same glands that we find on our scalp, and they produce an oily, lipid, waxy substance secretion, and it contains organic compounds such as long chains of saturated and unsaturated fatty acids, alcohol, squalene, cholesterols. And when you combine the sebum, which is obviously the secretion from the sebaceous glands, the sweat from the ceremunous glands, and dead skin keratin that's shedded by the ear canal, it amalgamates into earwax. So, and an earwax is 60% more or less, for most people anyway, made up of dry skin. So just using a Jobson horn just to mop up near the entrance. There's a bit of soft wax just anteriorly. Now this wax, it's got no clinical significance if I leave it or if I remove it, because it's non-occluding, but because the patient's there, it's just near the entrance, and we can do it using a Jobson horn. Where possible, we want to reduce performing e-suction, so the microsuction with the Zollner suction probe, where it's unnecessary because the suction probe itself is very, very noisy, and if you're exposed to loud sounds, even momentarily, it can cause either temporary or permanent hearing loss. It can also cause tinnitus, which is a ringing or buzzing sensation in your ears, or if you've already got tinnitus, it can exacerbate that. So noise is not really good for the ear, and suction, believe you me, if you've had it done, it is quite noisy. I try, when we run our clear wax training courses, I don't mind volunteering people performing procedures in my ear, just as long as my colleague, Mr. Darius Rajali, ENT surgeon, is overlooking that for obvious reasons. And yeah, it can be a bit noisy. And when I have people put a suction probe in my ear, my eyes kind of water. It's really odd. It's not unpleasant. You do acclimatise to the noise, but my eyes watering, yeah, that's not everyone gets that. So it's obviously stimulating some tear duct nerves, which makes my eyes water. Can be a bit pleasant once you got used to it. It can be kind of a nice feeling to it, a tranquil feeling. But yeah, guys, it's noisy. So at first, when someone's got occluding earwax, they may not hear the noise. Quite often, when patients attend the clinic, we've got the suction machine, which is, I would say, on par, if not louder than a vacuum. Not a vacuum. Well, yeah, maybe a vacuum cleaner. I was meant to say hairdryer, but even a vacuum, I would say it's a bit quieter than the vacuum. Or is it? Well, it's probably slightly quieter, and a lot of the patients don't hear it. And it's right behind them. And then once I've removed the wax, hey presto, they say, what's that noise? What is that? And I go, well, that's a suction machine. And they couldn't believe it themselves. So just with the right side now, so again, it's the same consistency of earwax. We're just using the Zonda suction probe. But this type of wax could be used another instrument. Well, you could use a Jobson horn because it's soft. But what would happen, when you go into the Jobson horn with this, when you get in behind the wax or you kind of dig into the wax, extract it back out, it will smudge and smear against the ear canal. So suction was the best for that. And just mopping up this soft piece of wax just very quickly. If it doesn't come out, I was going to leave it. So I think it's my last go. There we are. And just some dead keratin around the edge. So we're going to, I think, go in with a Jobson horn in a moment just to mop up around the edge. But this wax, again, it's quite glutinous. A part of me wanted to use some olive oil drops, but by the time I put the drops in, soften the wax, drain the ear, it would have probably been the same duration as, or it would have been a bit longer, I would say, than just performing the procedure itself. So just some dead keratin. Because it's coming off loosely, I'm just peeling it. If it's a bit of a strain, we just leave that. There we are. And I'm trying to remove this dead skin near the entrance of the ear canal, not because it's going to affect the symptoms, but the layer of skin here is dead, and wax generally comes out, it naturally migrates out of the ear naturally for, say, 95% of the population. And it's this layer of skin, as it sheds, it should move sideways laterally like a conveyor belt. That's how the ear expels dead skin from from inside the ear canal. If it didn't, everyone's ears would be full of dead skin every 2 or 3 weeks as it sheds. So the ears evolved to have this natural conveyor belt, but like a snake skin. As it sheds, it doesn't just drop into the ear canal to block the ear canal, it moves sideways. I think it moves approximately 3.5 millimeters a month, and I think if you equate that to a day, it's similar to your fingernail growth. I think it's 0.14 millimeters a day, give or take. And if you have some dead skin like this patient did near the entrance, and it was all dead and it's not migrating, it's sometimes good just to peel it off so you've got the undercoat, the next layer of skin growing, the epithelial cells. They're the cells that shed and migrate outwards. Try in an attempt to try and restore that natural conveyor belt, so in future it's possible for this patient's earwax to naturally migrate. I have a feeling though, because I've got this glutinous sticky type of wax and there's a bit of cilia near the entrance, that's probably the main culprit. The wax is trying to come out. See, the majority of the wax was near the entrance, and because it's sticky, it's sticking to the canal wall near the entrance where it narrows a bit, and then it causes a natural build-up behind. This patient, you can see at the base of the ear canal near the entrance, there's a bit of an incline, it's a bit of a trench almost, you can describe it as. So the wax is probably getting stuck in that trench, and obviously the hairs can mat against it. Trimming these hairs is not going to make much difference because it will grow back so much quicker. And sometimes with hairs, I think they grow back thicker as well. So that's the patient's tympanic membrane, all very clear there, the remnants. So that's all we removed from the patient's ear. You can see it's very glutinous, very sticky wax. I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. I hope you're all having a great, relaxing Sunday, and you're keeping well and safe wherever you are in the world. And yeah, I look forward to uploading a new video shortly. Thank you. Bye.